to the Western Conference champions, the Denver Nuggets, man. Hell of a performance by this team. If you listen to the Ball Don't Lie podcast, which is on the Barbers Chair Network right now with me and the homie Dante, and we will be back on Monday next week for our NBA Finals preview episode. And we got some big announcements on there too. Our NBA Finals post-game shows will be returning starting next Thursday. So we'll be, if everybody who liked our post-game shows last year, we're going to be doing it again. Me, Dante, and we'll have some guests. We also have a big announcement that we'll be announcing for the next upcoming season of Ball Don't Lie. So that will be announced over the next 2 weeks. So look out for that. But on Ball Don't Lie, when we did our playoff preview about a month and a half ago, Pavi was on there. I said I really want to take the Denver Nuggets, but I had to see it first. I had to see a first-round series, see how they would play first before I did that. And I was convinced after the first 2 games of the Phoenix series. Like, these are the NBA champions. Of course, they lost games 3 and 4 to the Suns, but that's just because the Suns, you had Kevin Durant, but mainly Devin Booker just shooting like unreal. But what they did in Game 5, winning at home, then just straight up demolishing the Suns in Game 6. This is a team that's been on a mission. This is a team that has been the number 1 team in the Western Conference since Christmas. They played a little shit, like a little month, because they already had everything locked up. But they've been focused. This is a team that has been in the conference finals when they're actually healthy. Jamal Murray coming back from injury, Michael Porter Jr. coming back from injury. And I think the number 1 thing heading into the series, which I hated a couple of weeks ago, was not even a couple of weeks ago, like 10 days ago now. That's how quickly this conference finals been moving. Everybody kept talking about the fucking bubble, what AD did in the bubble, forgetting that it wasn't just AD. In fact, it really was mainly Dwight Howard. It was mainly Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee and all the bodies that they had on that 2020 Laker team to help slow down Jokic. And also forgetting that Jokic has gotten better. 3 years ago, he wasn't a 2-time MVP. 2 years ago, he wasn't out here breaking a whole bunch of records. You know what I'm saying? 2 years ago, he wasn't in front of, he wasn't in front of fans. Which, I had to send that shout out there. I'm going to forever send that petty shout out there. See what happens when there's people in the crowd? Anyway, he didn't have that. And this is a much deeper Denver Nuggets team. Aaron Gordon, who had a questionable series, very good game for it. 21 points, shot well from three-point line, played great defense, actually made majority of his free throws. He was big. But the story here is Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, playing the best 2-game basketball we see in the playoffs right now. And I will even argue that the pick and roll between Jokic and Jamal Murray is even more deadly than the pick and roll with Draymond Green and Steph Curry, mainly because Draymond is offensively challenged. But they were just hooping really, really well. Jokic already has the most triple doubles in NBA playoffs history, passing Wilt Chamberlain. Anytime you pass that liar, you're in pretty great company. Jamal Murray, man, he just was with scorched earth all series. The 2 great performances he had in Game 2, Games 1 and Game 2. Game 2 sticking up the first 3 quarters and just going nuts in the fourth quarter. Game 3 having 30 of the first half and making some clutch buckets towards the end. He was great. And for one thing I loved about Jokic is what we want to see from your MVP. Things that you want to see from a Joel Embiid. And if Joel Embiid would have did these things, he might be on the verge of the NBA Finals right now instead of being in Cancun. He dominated. Game 3, he did not have a good first 3 quarters. Was in foul trouble. Not really being involved. 14 points in that fourth quarter in Game 3. Straight up domination. Had no answer for him. Same thing in Game 4. Closing the door. This is a team that could have easily folded. They were down 15 points at halftime. LeBron James is having an incredible half. Just LeBron was like, I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know anybody else on my team. I'm not going. LeBron had an incredible half, 30 points at halftime, finished with 40. And they came out there, and I feel like when the first 2 minutes of the third quarter, they done knocked out 13 points to that lead. They could have easily said, you know what? We came here, we got one. We're just going to wrap this up in a mile high in front of our fans and party with our fans. But they was like, no, let's snuff them out right now. And you got to give that credit to the coaching staff. Michael Malone has been great. And I just feel like just the mental fortitude of this team. Jeff Green said in the press conference before Game 4, we don't want to give LeBron any life. This is a man who came down from 3-1 in the NBA Finals against the greatest regular season team of all time. This is a guy, you can't give him any type of hope. This is a team that started this season 2-10 with like a 3% chance of even making the postseason. This is a team that when LeBron got hurt in the last month and a half of the season, still held it down and was able to get the 7th seed. It's a team that was down 15, 17 points in the play-in game. They've been in this situation before. You don't want to give them any type of life, and they snuffed it out. And this is what happens when you build a real culture. If you look at the Denver Nuggets and you look at what Miami has just had ever since Pat Riley's going there, it's the foundation. Good drafting, good free agent signings, good trades. You know, the KCP trade was amazing. KCP had went from a guy who had who was cool, nice little role player in Detroit, and being one of the main factors of the Lakers winning the championship in 2020. He's doing the same thing here. Every time it felt like the Lakers are going to take a run or take a crack at it, they knocked him down. Big KCP3. It's just team is just built, man. This team is going to be the NBA World Champions. I don't care what happens in the Eastern Conference Finals, whether the Celtics make history and come back, whether the Heat do what we expect them to do when they win and they go on. Not saying those teams can't compete. I think the Celtics and the Heat can give them some go. I think it could be a 6-game series. But this is the NBA champions. There's comes a time every postseason where some team just got that look. The Nuggets are the champs. And I think more people need to talk about it. And if and when they win the NBA championship, we need to be talking about them, man. So